Hey, what is going on, guys? Xpertfusion here, and I know we just got all that Black Ops 3 information, and it might be weird for me to be making a Call of Duty Ghosts video, but I want to talk about Call of Duty Ghosts 2, and I know Black Ops 3 is not even out yet, and it's stupid to talk about the Call of Duty that's coming out after Black Ops 3, but I just want to talk about it with you guys because I know a lot of people hated Call of Duty Ghosts. They really did hate that Call of Duty. I know a lot of people that absolutely despised the game, but you know what, part of me, I actually really enjoyed the game. Part of me really did enjoy the game, and I actually had a lot of fun on it. It was one of the only Call of Duties that I actually got the Prestige Master on, so I was pretty happy about that. But I want to talk about this image here, and I don't know if this is probably, most likely it's fake. I'm sure I was just looking up Call of Duty Ghosts 2 on Google Images, and this came up. I'm sure someone just photoshopped this. It doesn't look that hard to Photoshop, but when I saw this picture, I was thinking, you know what? Call of Duty Ghosts 2 they could fix a lot of problems that Ghost had, and I know the problems Ghost had. One of the major problems that people had was the maps. The maps were not really laid out correctly and not laid out so good, so they wouldn't play so well. But I actually thought they were fine. I mean, especially the DLC maps. DLC maps were absolutely amazing. But I understand how the maps that came with the game, they were kind of they're all over the place. They weren't good maps at all, really. They were kind of uneven, they were unsymmetrical, they were way too big, and they weren't great maps at all. I understand that, but that was one of the major problems people had with the game. Other problems people had, they didn't like the kill streaks. I guess you can call them point streaks. They didn't like the grayness of the game. They didn't like extinction mode. They didn't like the campaign. They didn't like squads mode. They didn't like what else? They didn't like the time to kill, even though that's very similar in some other Call of Duties as well. But I would have to say I enjoyed the game for a few things. I enjoyed the game for its slow-paced movement. Now, I know a lot of people like fast-paced movement, but I think having a slow-paced Call of Duty isn't really that bad of a thing, because as we can see in Advanced Warfare, when it gets too fast, it gets too cluttery and just overall too fast. And too fast is not really a good thing. It doesn't give you time to just settle and just enjoy the game itself. This game had more of a war feeling to it, because Advanced Warfare doesn't feel like war. It doesn't feel like you're actually in the war, but I actually kind of felt like that in Ghosts. It felt more realistic. It felt like you were actually in the war, because the maps were more like they were dirty, destroyed. It felt like a real war zone. It felt depressing, but that made sense, because that's how war feels. It feels depressing. And the streaks, they weren't good, but they weren't horrible. I was used to run the dog and the battle hind, and I didn't like the whole SATCOM system. I didn't like that at all, but I dealt with it, and I thought it was, I thought it was a good game. I liked the perk system. I thought I actually enjoyed the perk system actually a lot. I know a lot of people hated the perk system as well. I actually enjoyed it. I loved the different guns in it. They had a bunch of great guns. I never used the same guns. Like in Advanced Warfare, I use the same guns every fucking game. Black Ops 2, I use the same guns, but in Ghosts, I feel like I actually use different guns every single damn game. And another thing about Ghosts that I really enjoy, that I think they can also do more with in Ghosts 2, that's if it's even called Ghosts 2, but thing that they can definitely do is basically with the whole squads mode. I actually thought that was pretty fun. I mean, no one really played it, but I think the whole idea of creating your own team of people, and you get to customize each and every one of them, give them a name, give them a class, stuff like that, and fight against other people's squads. I thought that was actually like really fun. I thought it was a really cool game mode they added. Just no one used it because they thought it was a waste of time. No one liked it, but I actually really enjoyed that. And I think if they made it a little bit more, I guess, a little bit more customizable, they could really make that a fun game mode. And I thought it was really fun. And I don't recall it having anything to do with multiplayer. I don't think you can rank up multiplayer with your squads modes, but it was thoroughly fun, and I actually enjoyed it while it lasted. But at this point, you can't find anybody on squads mode, and I could barely find people on multiplayer in this game even sometimes. So this is probably one of the most hated Call of Duties out of any of them, and I disagree. I think it's not one of my favorite. I know it's definitely not one of my favorite. Like, out of all the 8 Call of Duties, not counting the first 3, this one is one of my least favorite. But I still really enjoyed it. That just shows how much I love Call of Duty, because I really enjoyed this one, even though it's not high on my list. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think about Ghosts, and what do you think about Ghosts 2? Do you want them to just do something completely different, or do you want them to make Call of Duty Ghosts 2? Do you want them to make I don't know, a World at War game, because we know Treyarch isn't doing that for Black Ops 3. So do you want them to make a game that's set in like World War II times, or do you want them to make a Call of Duty set in the Cold War, or do you want them to stick to the modern times like where Call of Duty Ghosts is set in? So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out.